hailing and snowing. It's quite good, really. The veiled sun is quite apt, isn't it, for the solstice, I think. So yeah. We don't really know how our ancestors played. As in, we don't know tongue techniques, breathing techniques, if they use circular breathing techniques like a didgeridoo. We don't know that really. We can only guess as to how these instruments were played, but the fact is they were played nonetheless. And I think the most interesting thing for me that I have learnt, or just realised, I suppose, is meeting Neil, is that our ancestors weren't a silent culture. When you try and use your imagination and think of our ancestors, you don't necessarily always think of them as a musical kind of culture, or as a culture with sound as an integral part of their existence. And I find that amazing, because my studies have kind of concluded really that if music wasn't important for our emotional and social, psychological and physical well-being, then music wouldn't have evolved in the way it has. It would have died out not just 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, but 10 or 20 or 30,000 or 500,000 years ago. It would have never evolved in the first place. That's how evolution works. It's only the things that are necessary to our survival that kind of evolve. And so I think it's amazing for me to be able to have in my possession one of these instruments. And I did a gig with my good lady Susan, who says hello, but we got back from Oxford at 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning. We're both completely wasted. So she's at home, and she's got quite a nasty headache. So I said, don't, just stay there and shout from over there, because we only live over the hill. And we did a gig for the OBOD, the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, and we headlined at their Winter Solstice gathering last Saturday. And those guys, the Order, they've got in their possession one of the horns made at Kilmartin as well, that was found in Sussex, I think. Was it Sussex? Yeah. And so I had one in one hand and one in the other, which is quite an amazing position to be in, really. Although this one sounded the best. So I'm just going to, I suppose, an honouring for our ancestors, and also hopefully, as a lovely round off to what was probably, I'm sure, been a fantastic day, I was going to play this instrument for you. But just, I didn't bring guitar, I didn't bring anything at all, but I did bring a little Peruvian flute. So I am just going to start. I suppose I should face towards the sunset in a vague direction of. But I'm going to play this little Peruvian flute. It's a calling flute. It would have been played from the tops of hills, so that kind of seems quite actually great.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think